Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. It's March 4th, 2026, and I'm Rich Tola. Here's what's cooking for today. Number one, are you smarter than a fourth grader? We're going to be talking about the smartest fourth grader I ever taught or student I ever taught. And number two, the top 10 body oddities for the ages. We're going to be talking about the top 10 weird things that are going on with your body. Just having some fun with this. But first, what are we talking about? The ABCs, right? All body workout, blissful sleep, colorful diet. How'd you do today? Me? Did well. 80% on the workout, really good on the sleep, excellent on the diet. Egg whites, kale, apple, banana, blueberries today. So, got to get it in, guys. Always. I'm going to start with a rest in peace, two actually, rest in peace shout outs to two greats. One is an actor, comedian, and another is another great actor, John Candy. John Candy passed away in 1994. John Candy was one of my favorite comedic actors of all times. He was in more than 40 films. He rose to prominence in Canada in the 70s. He joined Second City in Toronto in 1972. I performed at Second City once in Chicago. They're the greats. You guys know that, right? For comedy. So many people came out of Second City. But yeah, he went on to be an actor, great actor. You might know him from Splash, Uncle Buck. But my favorite movie, one of my top 10 movies of all times, it's got to be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles from 1987. John Candy was awesome. Go check that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, you got to watch it on Thanksgiving, right? It's a Thanksgiving movie. And the second actor, Luke Perry. You guys might know Luke Perry from 90210, Beverly Hills 90210 is where he kind of got it. But he's another one. He was in Riverdale, which was another series. He kind of reminded me of Elvis, did a show on Elvis. But rest in peace to Luke Perry. He was 52. He died of a stroke in, 2019. And John Candy, he died of a heart attack in, like I said, 94, but he was 43 years old. All right, guys. So rest in peace. Wow, that's a loud one today. Let's jump right into this first story because all this news about students going downhill in terms of learning, well, let me tell you, there are some really bright students out there, and this is why I believe that we really have to have two teachers in every class because there's students like Rose, which I'm going to read you right now from my book, that she blows the doors off what it is to be a student. And more students can be like Rose, but you need to challenge her. I remember, I'll give you a throwback to my days when I was 13 years old. This is a true story. So I had a knack for school. I loved learning, studied all the time, but my father wanted me to improve my vocabulary. I come from this Sicilian family, made me study. I couldn't come out of my room until I finished my studying and, kind of fix my bed and all that. But he wanted to increase my vocabulary, so he sent me to a course at Mercer County Community College. You believe it, 13 years old. I took a college course, and I was intimidated. I remember being nervous, and I would always kind of get all choked up when I would go to class because there's all these older people. Well, at the time, you're 13, people 18, 20, 21, whatever. You're like a little kid, but guess what? I got to be in the class. So you need to continue to challenge the good students. But let me read you this. This is from my book, The Sub, Tales of an Inner City Teacher. This is chapter 7, Elementary School. All right. Here we go. Let's turn our attention over to in-class learning and to that special fourth grader who arguably was the smartest student I've ever taught. No kidding. She was super smart and she was only 10 years old. And remember, my experience was 636 days of substitute teaching thousands of students from kindergarten through 12th grade, and Rose was the smartest. I knew she was special when she entered the classroom for the first time. I remember standing by my desk when all the students came charging in. Yes, charging. Because our classroom was at the end of the second floor of this warehouse-looking building behind the main schoolhouse. The kids loved to sprint up the stairs and then down this long exterior hallway with no other doors or classrooms in between, and they were loud. As I patiently waited for the chaos to stop from all the children who were still romping around the room, Rose waltzed in. Like a soft breeze coming off Lake Michigan, Rose was calm, cool, and collected, while paying no attention to the nonsense all around her. She proceeded straight to her desk, neatly unpacked her things, and quietly sat down as all the other unruly students were now getting a lot of cajoling from their new sub. More like a few choice phrases spoken at a relatively high octave level from a very frazzled sub, but who's counting. Before I knew it, Rose stood up and started to take control of the room. She marched over to the two most misbehaved boys and scolded them for being bad. She did it so fast and expertly that I didn't have time to stop her. Not that I would have anyway. Then she came over to my desk to tell me their regular schedule of subjects plus their special assignment, which everyone had already known about from their teacher from the day before. So not only was Rose an excellent student, she also had the leadership skills to be another senior class president, just like that second grader. And I told her as much. Have them finish their PowerPoint presentations was all the instructions their teacher had left me, which Rose had already told me was their special assignment. So after the students finished their less than desirable breakfast, they went to work. And this being a rare half day, lucky for me, I decided to forego any other schoolwork so they could finish their presentations. Rose sat alone while everyone else was in groups of 3 or 4. When he asked her about it, she simply said she liked to work alone. And work alone she did on one of the best multimedia presentations I have ever seen. Seriously, it was filled with all kinds of short videos, moving graphics, pictures that came and went, something I surely couldn't create in a million years. Then she started going through and explaining the content like she was the late, great Steve Jobs, giving one of his Apple product demonstrations to the entire world. Even better. Sorry, Steve. Rest in peace. Never again have I seen such brilliance in a student. And who says you're smarter than a fourth grader? Telling you guys, that girl, Rose, she changed it for me because I saw hope. I saw hope in students that really, there may not be hope. These kids, they're not learning. There's total chaos. But Rose was just her whole energy, her whole being. So I said, this is what it's about. You need to provide kids like Rose the opportunity to shine. And if you're not challenging her, where does greatness come? Greatness comes from pushing, right? Going to the next level. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. And then let's jump into this. Here's a good story for you. I just thought we'd just have some fun with this. These are top 10 oddities that I thought were kind of strange that maybe you should know. Maybe you're at a trivia game one time. And I'm going to give a shout out to Dictionary Scoop for this information. All right, number 1, we're taller when we wake up. Yeah, you probably can figure that. Just as our weight. I mean, hey, I'm 2 pounds lighter in the morning. That's why I get on the scale every day at 6 in the morning, because that's your lightest weight. It's the same, but gravity does this. It compresses the spine. I know a lot about that with disc problems, and it flattens the discs. So you want to weigh yourself or check your height, do it first thing in the morning. Number 2, dehydration can cause back pain. I didn't know that. The vertebrae are like they say sponges. So they got to be properly hydrated to be able to absorb the shock and to protect the spine. And you need to know that. I mean, I'm going to be drinking more water today because of that. All right, number 3, one lung is bigger than the other. You guys may know that. Well, the heart is not directly in the center, right? It's a little bit over to the left, and that's why it says that the left lung is 10% smaller than the right lung to make space for the heart. Hey, there you go. How about this? Number 4, newborns don't shed tears. I like that. The first thing they do is they cry, but their tear ducts are underdeveloped. It takes about a month for the tear ducts to happen. So if you don't see your baby crying in the first month of life, no worries. It will. All right, number 5. This one's not a good one, but it is true. Your nose and your ears never stop growing. That's not a good one, right? As you get old. It's odd, but here's what's interesting about it. It's not growth, actually. It's gravity. Again, gravity to the non-rescue, but they're cartilage. Your nose and your ears are cartilage, so the gravity actually pulls the cartilage down. I mean, who knew? Who knew? All right, number 6. Here's another one, kind of disgusting. Earwax is actually a type of sweat. I know you want to get all that out, but they say, of course, it might be disgusting, but contrary to popular belief, earwax is not a collection of dirt and debris and dust or whatever. And it's definitely not wax. It's a type of sweat, and it serves to lubricate and to protect the delicate skin lining the ear canal, preventing dryness and irritation. So, hey, do you want to leave your earwax in there? Yeah, go ahead. No harm, no foul. All right, number 7. This one was pretty cool, which I'm a little disappointed I don't see this at Law and Order. Love Law and Order. So, no two tongues are alike. I didn't know that. A tongue is like a fingerprint. Each person's tongue is unique and distinctly patterned to them. So your tongue prints are often used for forensic investigations. I mean, who knew? I never saw that in Law and Order. But hey, here's another thing. The color and the shape of your tongue is unique. Go figure. All right, number 8. Your teeth are as strong as sharks. Hey, who knew that? That's right. Scientific studies show that human teeth have the same strength as shark teeth. Of course, they're not as sharp, but they're as strong. Way to go. Number 9. I like this. One nostril at a time, please. Do you know we only breathe out of one nostril at a time? Didn't know that. This alternating pattern of nasal airflow, it's called nasal cycle. It says it ensures optimum filtration, humidification, and warming of inhaled air. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a little throwback back in my yoga days. Pranayama is air or the life force in each person, right? There's just some Sanskrit terms. There's a breathing technique called nadi. It's called Sodhana, Nadi Sodhana. You might know it as Nadi Sodhanam. Some people call it that way, but it's called alternate nostril breathing. Okay. We do these hand movements, like prayer, or do you ever see people do this in yoga? These are called mudras, hand mudras. Okay. This is a Vishnu mudra. And the way you do Nadi Sodhana, well, you guys know it, Sodhana, you hold it this way, and your thumb goes on the right side, and then you're using these 2 fingers on this side. So if you ever see this, I can't really pull this finger, but this is the Vishnu mudra for Nadi Sodhana. So check it out, guys. If you're in a yoga class, don't get discouraged. It's a really good breathing technique. All right, number 10. Only humans can blush. I didn't know that. Blushing is a result, says, of the dilation of the blood vessels and a psychological response to certain things, right? So it's triggered by embarrassment, shame, excitement. Hey, it's just us. It gives you the old mind, body, spirit. The old mind, body, spirit's all connected. So, all right, that's it for today, guys. I wanted to give you some 10 oddities. You're going to remember those, maybe doing a little trivia. You're going to win. But what are we talking about today? What are my Tola takeaways? We're going to finish with the 3 Tola takeaways every day. Got to do it. You got to respect the ABCs. Hey, that's crucial. And I want to give a shout out to my boy John over there in Scottsdale. He just had a heart attack. He called me yesterday, told me he had a heart attack. This guy's close to a couple years older than me. So I gave him some tips on got to get with the ABCs now that he's sort of back on the mend. But hey, good luck over there in Scottsdale, guys. But number 2, what is it? Connect. Really is important to go connect with somebody. Call them, visit them in person. Don't do the text, guys. Share your positivity. And number 3, embrace other people's perspective, right? Just because it's not your viewpoint doesn't mean you can't accept it. All right, guys, that's it for today. Have yourselves a kick-ass day. And as always, get your workout in. Peace.